Tyler Robertson, Augusta Christian, quarterback.
There's no better way to end a career than with a state championship, and there's no bigger reasons the Augusta Christian Lions finished on top than senior quarterback Tyler Robertson.
To finish the season like this, it was absolutely special.
In his senior year, the four-year starter engineered the top-scoring offense in the SCISA. He threw for over 2,000 yards and 18 touchdowns.
Right on cue, Fortenberry's going to score. Are you kidding me?
But what surprised opponents the most was Tyler's ability to run the football. The Tennessee Chattanooga commit, he added a new dimension to the Lions' offense this season, rushing for over 1,000 yards to go along with 24 touchdowns.
It was always there. I would not call the plays. I didn't have no other backup. I didn't have a backup plan.
And this year when we came to the season, I wasn't getting many college looks, so, he won't say, okay, I'm going to cut you loose. Whatever happens, happens.
Away from the field, Robertson was equally impressive. He was named a Carolina Panthers community captain and at one point successfully ate this very large burger.
When you look at him, you'll think that this is like the golden boy. He's nasty.
He says that I'm nasty. Walton's got a few stories, and if you ever talk to him, don't believe him. They're a little exaggerated.
Real easy to win with kids like that.
Chris Jordan, Thompson High School, running back.
For opposing defenses, he was a nightmare in the open field.
When I'm getting hit, I just keep moving my feet and keep running.
Kind of the mantra with those running backs was, don't let one man bring you down, and he kind of, personified that whole concept.
Not many people could bring Thompson's Chris Jordan down this season. The 250-pound senior wasn't a familiar name entering the year, but he shattered the 2,000-yard rushing mark en route to one of the best seasons in Thompson history.
I give all the credit to the offensive line and the people that helped me out. Without them, I wouldn't finish as strong as I did this year.
He made big plays for us. Had the ability to break tackles and get a lot of yards after contact.
And while Chris was all business on the field, he keeps the mood pretty light off of it.
He was kind of the guy that brought a little life to practice, that sort of thing, and had a good time, and never really took himself too seriously, which I think was big for him all year.
And in 2013, you can check out Chris's big-time game on a college football field near you.
Georgia Southern, App State, I've been talking to Vanderbilt, UCF in West Central Florida. I'm just trying to see what all coming right now.
Devontae Presley, North Augusta High School, running back.
Just 1 year after Vinnie Miller took home the FFN Player of the Year trophy, another North Augusta running back is making his case. Devontae Presley waited patiently for 2 years as a backup, but in 2012 he exploded onto the scene with 1,940 yards rushing, finding the end zone 19 times.
Having great running backs in front of me from every year, they teach me something, and I just use what they teach me.
I think we've got great kids who wait their turn to be the running back here. I think they understand how special it is.
And while former Yellow Jackets Vinnie Miller and DeMarcus Rouse relied on strength and power at just 5'9" and 185 pounds, there was no one on the field more elusive this season than the man they call Lil Turbo.
It's always been a chip on my shoulder. The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Devontae is one of the hardest working kids I've ever been around, and pound for pound, we all agree he's the toughest kid that any of us have ever coached.
Zyricus Letman, Lincoln County High School, wide receiver.
The most successful coach in Georgia history has been doing this a long time.
I started in '72, add them up.
He's seen plenty of Red Devils rise through the ranks and make NFL rosters, but perhaps none of them were as impressive in high school as senior Zyricus Letman.
Zyricus, it's probably, in my opinion, I'm probably a little prejudiced, but he's one of the finest receivers that I've coached.
For him to say that I'm one of the best athletes that he's coached, I think it says a lot.
Zyricus led the Red Devils in receiving with 49 catches for 631 total yards, helping the Red Devils make the Class Single-A state semifinals and leaving defensive secondary saying one thing.
Kid's scary. Yeah, I got to guard him.
He's a great basketball player. Can dunk a basketball everywhere under the sun, and on the football field. If you saw him, we throw a lot of jump balls, and he comes down with them, and he made some tremendous catches.
And while Letman didn't make it to the Georgia Dome as a high schooler, he dreams of playing for the Georgia Bulldogs and someday hoisting an SEC championship trophy in Atlanta.
Yes, sir. I plan on it.
Ty Brooks, Strom-Thurmond High School, wide receiver.
If the ball went up at Strom-Thurmond, chances are it came down in the arms of 6'1" senior Ty Brooks.
Very few people were able to cover him, so it really kind of came on halfway through his junior season, and you could tell that he had a chance to have a special senior year.
Special season is right. Ty caught 61 balls for 1,026 yards and 11 touchdowns, calling to mind the skill set of another receiver from South Carolina.
I like A.J. Green because he made big plays. I think I made big plays like A.J. Green did.
And speaking of big plays, perhaps Ty's biggest performance of the year was broadcast for the entire region to see on WJBF Game Night Live.
That is Brooks, and he might be gone. Look at that speed.
Brooks led his team to a region title over Midland Valley with 4 receptions for 100 yards and returned a punt for a touchdown, cementing his legacy at the school he loved.
And he's going to score a touchdown.
My pride here. I love the school. Everybody do. Like, just not the football program, but classroom, teachers, coaches.
Robert Tyler, Wagner Sally High School, tight end.
Whether he's on defense or offense, R.J. Tyler has a knack for making big plays.
To do the best thing as possible to help your team win and keep the team in good situations and always go hard every play.
He had moments against just about everybody we played where he would catch a ball or two and could swing the momentum back in our favor.
At 6'4", R.J. was a big target, and he helped the Wagner Sally War Eagles to their first winning record in nearly a decade.
It leads by example. One hardest workers we have in the weight room, hardest workers we have on the field. He just goes hard all the time for us.
For a team that rarely passed the ball, RJ still managed to be productive. He caught 20 balls for 354 yards, scoring 6 touchdowns, and he stood out as a blocker at tight end.
Blocking for the running backs, trying to hope they can get all the yards they can get. It's good to let people know I can do both. As well, I can block and go out and catch balls and run routes too.
Michael Selby, Washington County High School, offensive line.
They call themselves the Wild Hogs.
We tried to pave the way for the skill guys and just the nasty hogs up front.
And at 6'3", 280 pounds, offensive guard Michael Selby just might be the nastiest.
I could almost assume that at least once in a game, their best defender, if he was facing Michael would basically put him at my feet.
With 109 knockdown blocks, Michael helped pave the way for a Golden Hawks offense that had well over 3,000 yards rushing and averaged an eye-popping 42 points per game.
This year especially, I think the offensive line has been the closest it's ever been, and just our chemistry together, making the calls up front and just getting to work, and you got each other's backs, and we know that every night we're going to go out there and lay it on the line and open up the holes for the running back.
Next season, Michael will go from one high-scoring system to another when he joins one of the most potent offenses in the nation at Marshall.
We're going to the Thunder and Herd at Marshall. They're fired up about him. He's a great football player, and he's another guy that's going to be that 2- and 3-year starter.
I just want to go in there and do my best and work my way up.
Will Jones, Academy of Richmond County, offensive line.
6'7" and 310 pounds, it might seem like ARC's Will Jones was born to play football.
Big Will, that's what everyone calls me as. Even up in the school, most of the teachers call me Big Will.
And when these tiny cornerbacks see him coming, they're backpedaling, trying to get out of the way, and we'll just see Will run over the top of him.
But it's that same immense size that kept him out of the game during his youth.
I was always too big for my age, and then most of the time I was too big for the age groups above me. So
we had other JV programs questioning whether he was legit to play, and he was only in 8th grade.
So before that football career started, Will did the next best thing for a guy 6'8". He hit the basketball court, which has helped his football career take off.
Playing basketball, you have to be able to have good feet, otherwise, you're going to be left in the dust. And that translates real well to my position because, offensive line is a lot of footwork. There's a lot of footwork involved, and if you have good feet, you can usually do pretty well.
Touchdown, ARC!
All the D1 coaches that come through, they see his potential because he's only going to get faster, he's only going to get stronger, and having only played 4 years, he's only going to get better.
Justin Day, South Aiken High School, offensive line.
A change of position did Justin Day some good this season. At the urging of his coach, he made the shift from defensive end to an all-area offensive tackle, bound for Kentucky in the SEC.
I see myself playing high school, but I never thought I would be able to play at the next level until my coaches brought out the potential in me.
And most time you go up to a defensive lineman and say, hey, you're going to play offensive line, and he says, Coach, I want to do whatever's best for the team. And he really benefited from the move and had a good year for us at offensive tackle.
In 2012, Justin had 25 knockdowns and a 90% blocking rate, and with just 1 year at tackle under his belt, he's just scratching the surface.
His potential is unlimited, and he's only going to get better. And by playing at Kentucky in the SEC, he's going to be tested every week, and he's going to be forced to put his best effort forward, and I think he's got a real bright future ahead of him.
Kentucky is known as a basketball school, which is fitting for Justin. At 6'8", 290 pounds, he feels like he can do anything athletically, just like his favorite athlete.
I'm good at everything. I'm a beast. I'm like LeBron for football.
Avery Archer, Washington County High School, offensive line.
They say the smartest guys on a football team live on the offensive line, and for proof, look no further than Waco center Avery Archer.
I go to college at GMC, and I do classes there. I don't come to high school at all. It gives me college credit, I get ahead of the game a little bit in college. I'll be a sophomore next year in college, actually.
High marks in the classroom, even higher marks on the field. Avery led the Hawks in blocking percentage at 94%. He had a team-high 117 pancakes, which earned him first-team All-State honors.
Avery Archer, I've said this to other coaches, he might be the finest football player that I've coached. Not the biggest guy in the world, but so tenacious. Wasn't going to wow you with numbers in the weight room. He's like a little scrappy Jack Russell Terrier. He's going to be the last man walking out of a fight.
And who knows, there could be a future career in coaching for the senior. He can already do a pretty mean impression of Coach Ingram.
Let's do it again. I get paid to hang out, man. This is the best job in the world.
Taylor Hearn, Williston Elko High School, offensive line.
When Taylor Hearn lines up at tackle, he can get downright devilish.
Just to dominate the person in front of me every play, try and finish him.
Toughness, physicalness. Well, I feel like Taylor's one of the best players in the area without a doubt.
He's the anchor of a Williston Elko offensive line that helped the Blue Devils make the playoffs for his 7th straight year, but that's not his only role on the team.
He punts for us as well. He's a big guy, and when he punts, he wants to punt, the best of his ability. So his competitiveness is probably the biggest thing. He loves to compete.
Just fast and physical every play till the whistle blows.
Taylor is just a junior, but he's already weighing offers from Clemson and North Carolina. And with another year ahead of him, the man they call Hoggy can certainly expect many more to roll in.
When he leaves here, he'll probably be the best offensive lineman that's ever played for Wilson Elko. Getting that first offer from Clemson has kind of opened the door for him, and you know, I'm sure there'll be more.
Justin Thompson, Aquinas High School, kicker.
With just seconds left on the clock before halftime against Twiggs County, Aquinas coach Matt Lazat had no choice but to attempt a 42-yard field goal, and that's when sophomore Justin Thompson announced himself to the world.
Anything 45 yards in, we're going to call on him. You know, we're going to call on him, and we think that he'll make it.
A year after sending all-area kicker Connor Tierney to Georgia Southern, the Irish didn't have to look far for his successor.
My coach came out of the soccer field and said I need a kick, and he told me I had to.
Sit out there and watch that soccer ball come off of his foot like a laser, and I knew that he had some talent.
The transition wasn't easy for Thompson. He'd never held, much less kicked a football in his life, and then there's all the pressure.
Field goals are a lot more nerve-wracking because everyone's watching you and it's all you.
But with a year under his belt and his leg strength constantly improving, it's obvious that Aquinas has someone special on special teams.
Juwan Biggers, Grovetown High School, kick returner.
Give Juwan Biggers an inch, and he'll take a mile.
Because I know nobody's going to catch me, so I just use my speed and I just break away.
In his senior season, Biggers did it all. He quarterbacked the Warriors' offense, and he led the defense with 3 interceptions.
You got a kid like that, it's like that guy on the mound, you know, all the point guard, you know, all that go-to kind of guy, and that's what he was for.
I had a better chance to do something to help my team out. Because first I was just a defensive player, but now I turned into mostly an offensive player, and I helped on defense as well.
But where he was most explosive? Returning kicks. He averaged nearly 26 yards per attempt and took 2 of them to the house in 2012.
If he got out there, you know, I don't remember anybody running him down all year. It just wasn't going to happen. And, you know, when he figured all that out, he was good to go.
You want to try to make up open space, try to make at least 1 or 2 moves to get open. And I managed to do it, and that's how I scored.
William Walker, Washington County High School, athlete.
When you watch Waco's William Walker on the field, it instantly reminds one of another dual-threat quarterback.
Touchdown, Carolina!
Cam Newton, I just like him, the way he plays. Every game he brings it.
And the similarities between Walker and Newton are no coincidence.
Auburn was one of the teams, we studied their offense when Cam Newton was there because we felt like he had similar skill sets in the back of being an effective runner and passer of the football. We knew that we needed to sort of tailor what we did to build on his strengths.
Similarities aside, Walker's numbers speak for themselves. The first-team All-State athlete torched opposing defenses to the tune of 2,069 yards passing, over 1,100 yards rushing, not to mention he found the end zone 34 times.
Let me feel like a man. It feel real good seeing the teammates cheering us on, watching us in the fans. Feel real good.
Just an incredible athlete, left a legacy here. He's legendary. He'll be remembered as one of the great players that's played here.